Number 4.
Speaking of bears, and the fact that I have a wolf bear on my shoulder, let's move on to the next on our list. For this item on the list, I'm combining two different sayings because of how different they are, and yet people persist in saying both of them. That sharks are just like lions and tigers and bears, and that sharks are just like dogs and cats. They can't both be true, can they? Maybe sort of, maybe not at all. It's actually not that weird to compare sharks to dogs. I mean, they're obviously not the same thing, but I've done it. It's kind of natural to compare new things to things that you're familiar with in your life. And I'm familiar with dogs, and you start to draw some parallels. The problem is when people say just like. For example, saying that they're just like bears and tigers. There might be some similarities in that they're predators, but here's a pretty big difference. You can't do the things that you do with sharks with lions and tigers and bears. When I went on safari and asked the guy about getting out of the Jeep next to lions, he says, yeah, if you want to die. And yet, people with absolutely no experience with sharks, millions of people annually, get introduced to the world of shark diving. My first shark dive came shortly after getting scuba certified, and I was surrounded by 40 sharks underwater with a bunch of other people who knew nothing about sharks also. How is that possible? Again, bears aren't necessarily all violent and lions aren't all violent, but you just can't do that type of ecotourism with those animals. In fact, considering just how easily sharks can kill us and how far out of our natural element that we are when we go into the water with sharks, it's mind-boggling what sharks allow and what is tolerated and the record of survival that we have doing that. Now let's go back the other direction, comparing them to a domestic household pet. Obviously, sharks are not domesticated pets, and people seem to think I'm trying to imply that when I encourage them just to think a little bit more broadly than what the media tells you to think. I will admit similarities to sharks in that there are many, many breeds of dogs and there are many, many species of sharks. You associate certain attributes and certain characteristics, even certain personalities with certain breeds of dogs. And more or less it holds true. But individual personalities are prevalent with dogs. They all have them if we spend time to take a look and realize that the personalities are there. Now with sharks, again, certain species are known for certain things, and wide sweeping, sure, it holds true, but not 100%. Sharks also behave differently as individuals. Just because all oceanic whitetips are known for certain things doesn't mean that the oceanic whitetip on your left is going to behave the way that the oceanic whitetip on your right is going to. I'm going to draw another comparison to the bigger shark, the more calm the shark. For example, Great Danes. Great Danes are some of the most chill animals I know, but they could disembowel you anytime they felt like it. A great white shark, like a big great white shark, some of the slowest, calmest, most chill sharks that you'll see. They don't seem like they can really be bothered with any drama. But does that mean it could have chopped me in half effortlessly? No. So, are sharks like dogs and cats? Are they like lions and tigers and bears? I don't know.